Afternoon, Oklahoma State will be the home team.
That's the late game on Friday?
It's the early game. It's 2 o'clock game. Yeah, this is official. Until they change it. While we're waiting on the Gauchos, please remember to turn off your phones or put them on vibrate. Just don't let them ring. No video, please, in this room. You can get what we shoot off the FTP. And you know the system about waiting to be recognized, identify yourself, and to whom you're asking the questions. I didn't hear that. Are they on the way, Laura?
Just the players.
Waiting for Andrew, huh? It's not doing radio. You're here.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get him upstairs anyway, I don't think. UCSB gatekeepers might have something to say about
Yeah.
Thanks for everything, though.
You bet, Jerry. It's always, no matter what, on single game nights, it's single games less than 3 hours are a good thing, you know, no matter what. When you get into the late part of the week. Oh, yeah. Okay, the Gauchos are on their way. Went up and sat on the last row of right field, high up, for about 3 innings. So didn't want to get hit by a foul ball, so I was safe. Well, no, I was in foul territory. I was way up high, not out in the bleachers. I was out with the Democrats. I wasn't out with the unwashed. Not sure if those people watch the game. They're just beach balls and whatever. Once again, we'll have a statement from Coach Cheeths, and then we'll have questions for the players, and then we'll release them and finish up with the coach. Andrew, give us an overview, please.
Yeah, competitive baseball game. We could never get anything really going offensively. Colony did a nice job of changing speeds and staying out of the middle of the plate. Kelly wasn't super sharp, but he pitched his guts out. Betancourt was fantastic for us. So I think that's the game part of it. And then special for our program. These, when people go home, they get a little emotional, and promised myself I wouldn't. But for these kids to get us here, to get this opportunity for our program is unique. And at the end, the end of the game, when we went out there and met, all I could do was thank them for their effort, thank them for their hard work, thank them for their commitment, thank them for representing our university the right way, thank them for playing hard, and as a coach, you can't ask a whole lot more than that out of a group of guys. And I hate using the term overachieved, but I think they achieved as a group. They achieved and ended up being a really good baseball team.
Okay, if you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. Okay, we'll start with you, Jerry.
Congratulations to all of you guys. Trev, let me start with you. You're a guy that has done so well for this team all year long. That curveball is amazing. Tonight was your shining moment. How special was it for you to do that in the College World Series?
It was, you watch it when you're a little kid. You watch all these kids play in College World Series, and to know you're not really sure how you're going to feel when you get out there. And I kind of made it a plan that after my warm-up pitches, I was going to take a deep breath and look around the stadium and kind of embrace it. And every single time, I couldn't help but smile. It was to know that situation was that intense, yet I could look around and just feel lucky to be here. It was cool. It was fun. So I'm still not able to grasp it yet, but I loved it.
Okay, Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Dempsey, obviously those guys weren't throwing premium velocity at you, but weren't really able to get anything going against them. Why do you think that was? What were they doing that were keeping you guys off balance?
I thought they were in the zone, and that's first and foremost, throw strikes. It's hard enough to hit. And then he was also he was throwing a good changeup to righties, and I think to the lefties he was mixing in a slider. And he was just effective with it. He was down with it. He was throwing it in counts where we were sitting on other pitches. And then the guy that came in after him kind of picked up right where he left off. So.
Okay, Jerry.
Dempsey, take us through that at bat, if you would, in the ninth inning. You get up there. You do have 2 home runs this year, and Ming did a good job against Bush. You did a good job against Muno. Were you saying, I got to get something and try to hit it out of the ballpark?
No, I feel like every time I've tried to do that, it's actually been the exact opposite. I was just trying to go up there and first pitch, I was selling out to a fastball. I figured that was going to be one of the best pitches I had to hit, and he threw me a slider, swung over it, but I was all right with it because I got to see it. So in the back of my head, I knew he was going to come back to it later in the at-bat, and then sure enough, I think it was 2-2. He went back to it, just didn't see it up as much as I should have, and swung over it, and that was that.
Okay, we'll go right here first and then back there.
Mike Lananna, Baseball America. For both of you guys, to get here to the College World Series, first time ever in program history, and taking the difficult path that you did, what are you guys just going to remember most from this season and this group of guys?
Trevor, you start.
It started as a rebuilding year, and we don't try to look too much into it, but it was there. We read it, and we, I guess, embrace it. We like it when someone doesn't believe in us because we're a small school, and we kind of gives us a little more fire. And I guess the thing I'm going to miss the most is that playing with these guys, it wasn't so formal. Everyone had their part to do, everyone had their character, and the coaches did a great job of letting us do that, so we were able to mesh together and kind of have each other's backs and just play and have fun instead of think, oh, this is crazy, it's baseball, we got to be on it. No, just loose and went and played as kids.
Dempsey?
Yeah, what I'm going to miss the most from this team is the guys. You know, we kind of caught some magic in a bottle. You know, it was supposed to be a rebuilding year for us, like Trevor said, but you know, throughout the fall, we all competed with each other. We knew how good we could be, and then once we got to Nashville, you know, it was just magic. We all banded together, shoulder to shoulder. We were doing it for the guys next to us, and it seemed to be a new guy stepping up every game. Bush kind of carried us through Nashville, but Justin Kelly had a great outing in that last Xavier game, and then obviously Sam Cohen getting us here. You know, it was just awesome. The group of guys that we had and what we were able to do, I'm gonna miss it so much. So much heart, so much competitiveness. And even though it was a rebuilding year, you can't measure the heart. And I thought we had so much of it, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss every single bit of it.
Okay, this will be the last question for the players.
Tony Boone from the Omaha World Herald, kind of along those same lines. Coach said a couple of days ago that he was just going to let you guys use your emotions and ride it. What was that ride like for these last few weeks, kind of piggybacking on what you guys were just telling us?
Who was that for?
For both of them.
Okay. Trevor, start.
There's not many words you can really put together. I mean, there's a lot of people that doubted us, and we kind of just played it pitch by pitch, inning by inning, and, you know, everyone says you're not down until, you know, that last final out is made, and then Louisville, that, you know, it's completely true. You know, it happened, and there's not many words you can put together, but it's just, I will never forget this trip. You know, we left, I think, June 1st and haven't been home since. So it has been one crazy ride, and I won't forget a moment of it.
Dempsey.
It was crazy because it seemed to me like the bigger the stage got, the looser we got. It was the weirdest thing that I've ever experienced because, you know, on teams before, the bigger the stage gets, it seems like there's some pressure involved, or, you know, you feel like tight, I can't mess up. I didn't feel that at all, and I don't think any of our guys felt it, and I think that's what allowed us to go into Vanderbilt and beat some of the teams that maybe we weren't supposed to, or go in and knock out a really, really good Louisville team, and even come here and knock out a good Miami team. Just because as the stage got bigger, we got looser, and we just let our game play, trusted what we had done in the fall, all the work we had put in, and just go out there and have fun for the guy next to you. And truthfully, I don't think any of us wanted this ride to end. So it's been awesome though.
Ben, thank you. Congratulations on a great season and a great run. Okay. Thanks. Y'all can go.
You guys get to go.
You can take your nameplates too. You bet. Okay, questions for Coach Cheeths? Quickly, Jerry.
Coach, congratulations on this season. You said that you were going to try at all costs to not get emotional. Did you find out that was pretty much impossible when you guys gathered in right field?
Yeah, I couldn't get a word out. It hit me pretty good. So, pretty special what the group did. So pretty special for them to get to this point. And 22 days on the road's a long time, but I would have liked to continue to stay in a hotel and play longer with these guys.
Eric's first question of the week.
Sorry it took so long. Eric Sorensen from D1 Baseball. Coach, when I saw you at it was Long Beach, early in the season, you talked about how together your team was, the unity. Was that kind of what helped you guys, especially did it get even tighter of a bond this past few weeks in the postseason? And also kind of address the fact what they were saying about being a little more loose. Was that like a difference between this team and last year's team, for example?
you know, they're all different. When you got a bunch of different personalities every year and a bunch of, you know, different types of kids. And this group was squirrely from the get-go, and they've been that way the whole time. And I actually learned a lot. You know, I think I said this earlier, I'm wound a lot tighter. And last year's group, I would say, you know, going into that regional, we're hosting a regional, and we've got, you know, all these star players, and we're doing it at Lake Elsinore, and there's a bit of a microscope there, and trying to probably worried about a lot of the wrong stuff. And this group kind of reminded me about the play hard, have fun piece of it, and they were able to do that, and they played better. You know, I think when I had a chance to step back and watch them, they performed better that way. So it took me a little while to figure it out, but I was able to step back a little bit and give them the space they needed.
Back over here.
Pat Borsey from the New York Times. Andrew, Gary Gilmore was in here last night, and then he said that when they were down 3-0, that it felt like 23-0 because of how big the park plays. Did it? I know the wind different tonight that the wind's blowing out. Did it feel that way at any point to you tonight?
Yeah, I think you get the combination of the ballpark, and it's not very offensive, and then you know you got the Elite 8 teams in the country with their pitching, and it's not easy when you're playing every other day, and most people's bullpens are fresh, so it does feel like a lot. And I actually made a very similar comment before the game that, you know, 1-0 feels like 5-0 because of the ballpark and the quality of the pitching. The 2 games we lost, we got the tying run to the plate, and we had the right guy up. We had Bush up both times, and he wasn't able to get a swing off. So it felt like the guys were continuing to compete and still had some belief. And you know, anytime Austin gets up with runners in scoring position, you're feeling like something good could happen. And he wasn't able to get the swing that we needed.
Mike?
Mike Lanana, Baseball America. Coach, both of those guys kept talking about how this was a rebuilding year. What do you think about what you guys built this year and the foundation that you have for next year and the next few years?
Yeah, it's hard to. It's so difficult to get here. I know some of the other coaches I've seen some of the press conferences that have been on their way home have talked about how difficult it is to get to this point. And having never been here, once you get here, you can understand why people kind of get it in their blood and want to come back because the experience is so special. So, you know, for us to be able to get here and have some guys that will return and really understand, and even a coach that really understands what Omaha means, because I said it a lot over the last 20 years, but having not experienced it, I think it's going to be a little bit different and have a little different meaning for myself and the guys that are on our team next year.
Okay, Aaron, this will be the last question for Andrew.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Coach, you talked about the quality of the pitching here, and maybe it's not, you know, the Dylan Tates throwing 96. I mean, those guys are, you know, mid-80s guys that you were facing, and I think a lot of guys in this field are like that. Do you think the way this ballpark plays, I mean, does it just favor that style of guy, the strike-throwing, you know, left-hander pitchability guy?
Yeah, absolutely. Dempsey hinted on that, but strikes here really play, and they really give you a chance. The offense is diminished, so I think if you come in and you've got a lot of power and gaudy offensive numbers, the games have a chance to be close. And so the teams that can get the 2-out hit and can execute a little bit have a legitimate chance to be able to win, and the 3 runs has a chance to feel like 6 if the guys that are coming out of the pen are throwing strikes. And their guys really did, you know, they didn't give us any real room to breathe, and they were throwing 2 to 3 pitches for strikes. Not a whole lot out over the plate for us to hit, and it's. I think if you've got pitchability, you get a chance to win here.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, once again, if you've just come in, please turn off your phone. We will have a statement from Coach Johnson, then open it up for questions for the student athletes, and then we'll have Coach Johnson again. So, Jay, give us an overview, please.
Yeah, first off, I want to congratulate Coach Cheeths and UC Santa Barbara on an amazing season. To get here, the road that they did is as impressive as it gets, and a lot of respect for him over a long period of time. It's a first-class program, and just want to congratulate them. As far as tonight, what an effort, and it starts with these three guys right here. JC was outstanding. We're not in the College World Series without him. We're not in the NCAA tournament without him. The quality wins that he has had this year have been special, and I don't think we've had a performance that good all year that he gave us tonight. Character off the charts. His last outing was a little bumpy, and I think he's only had 2 bumpy ones this year, and both times he's responded in a Hall of Fame manner. As far as Jared, we mentioned it yesterday, he's not as good a player as he's going to be, and you're watching it evolve right in front of your eyes here in Omaha. Very proud of him. And then the last outs of the game are always the toughest to get, and there's a reason Cameron is in the game in a regional final at the end, in both games at the end, in the Super Regional, and all 3 games here in Omaha. So very proud of our team, very proud of these 3 guys, and wish it was Friday right now.
It will be. Okay, questions for the student athletes, please. Aaron, we'll start with you.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. JC, what was so effective for you today? It seemed like those guys just couldn't get anything going against you.
I think it was just mixing and matching. The changeup was real good today. Just working in and out with the fastball, kind of sliders to lefties, changeups to righties. Just trying to really let the fastball tail on them, and instead of hit the big part of the barrel, let it tail off, hit the end. But other than that, just kind of mixing and matching.
Okay, right here.
JC, were you more motivated than usual because of what happened the last time you pitched?
I don't know about more motivated than usual. Coach Johnson's been talking about the Super Bowls all year. So for me, it was just come out and give my best effort, and at the end of the day, the results will set themselves. I moved past Lafayette the day after, especially once we won it and we were heading to Starksville. It was behind me, and I knew I had to do whatever they needed me to do in Starksville. And, I didn't get to pitch there, but winning the first 2 was probably the best thing we've done all year. So if I don't have to pitch and we win the first 2, I'm real happy about that.
Jerry.
Congratulations to all of you guys. Cameron, what a job you did. Take us through facing Bush in the 9th inning, representing the tying run, and just how dangerous a hitter he is and what you were able to do against him.
Yeah, he's a real good hitter, and he's a big power guy. And you watch their game against Louisville, and they had a big time comeback. So you think about that immediately, just because he's going to try to tie it with one swing. And so I had a mound visit from Coach Lon, and he pretty much told me he's going to try to hit one out, so you got to keep the ball down. And that was my main goal. I threw 2 sliders at the knees. One he took, 2 that he swung at. So, it's pretty nerve-wracking because he's a big dude. And, just keep the ball down.
Here in the back.
John Neatal with the Omaha World Herald. JC, there have been some pretty phenomenal pitching performances here in the last week, too, from a couple of your teammates. I wonder, just given the ballpark, wind condition, did that give you confidence knowing what other guys had done? And did it impact at all the way you approached the start tonight?
It didn't really impact how we approach it. I mean, this ballpark's a lot like High Corbett in the way it's laid out. So for us, it almost felt like we were pitching at home. And, based off what Dahlbeck and Banny have done, it's kind of, I just want to go out and kind of match them. all year that's kind of what we've done. Is the Friday night guy will set the level, and the next two guys just got to either reach it or go beyond it. So.
Get down here.
Jared, you've got 4 RBIs in this series. What's been different for you here in the College World Series, if anything, up at the plate?
I mean, I'm just relaxed, more relaxed, I guess. Past month or so, kind of been more developed as a hitter. Just trying to stay relaxed, not trying to do too much. I mean, it sounds that simple, but just stick to my game plan, basically. And, whatever happens, happens. If it's out of my control, all I control is getting a good pitch to hit, get a good swing on it, and, the rest just kind of happens.
We're going to go here, too. We're going to cut them off pretty quick here, Jerry. And then
Jared, does it always make it easier for a hitter in a very tough situation in a ballpark like this when you just watch the first run score? Does it make it easier to relax, stand up there knowing at least you got one in the bank?
I mean, yeah, you can say that. Aguilar put up the good at bat, get the run in, so that definitely helps getting the first run across the board. But I mean, it doesn't really change how I kind of feel up there. I'm still trying to stay relaxed, and I was just ready for a fastball, and he gave it to me in my zone and jumped all over it. So,
Mike
Lanana, Baseball America. Cameron, you've been in so many high-pressure situations in this postseason, and you faced elimination before. I mean, what does it feel like when you're running out there on the mound in those situations, and has it gotten any easier just with the repetition of doing it?
Yeah, I would say it's getting easier. You just kind of have to not think. I just don't think. And, you just know that if you execute your pitches, good things are going to happen. And so I put the drama, to the side and just pretty much just know that I'm going to hit my spot and let the rest carry out.
These last two will be the last two questions.
For Jared, what was the pitch that you hit for the home run? And for Cameron, can you just talk about the rally mustaches?
Jared.
I had first pitch fastball. First at bat, saw his fastball good, and I was on time. Flew out to right, but I knew I was ready. Got my timing down, and I was sitting on one location, one pitch, and sure enough, he gave it to me, and just tried to put a good swing on it.
Cameron.
The rally mustaches were actually started by Zach Gibbons, so all credit goes to him. But I saw him in the hotel lobby, and he had a really nice mustache going. And I said, wow, I want to be a part of it. So ever since then, I went back to my room and trimmed it up. And then other people hopped on board. I started recruiting. And, after that, sure enough, we had a pretty solid amount of dudes going with rally mustaches.
Okay. Pat. Still trying them on. I thought Betancourt's was pretty good, too, Yeah.
Still working on mine.
Pat Borzy with the New York Times. This is for Jared. As big as this park plays and as good as JC was pitching, after your home run, how comfortable are you and the guys on the bench with a 3-0 lead?
I mean, we know how good this pitching staff is that we have, and we know we get one run, that could be enough. Yellow in 3, especially early in the game, definitely puts us a little more at ease, I guess. But I know obviously they got to execute their pitches, against tough team Santa Barbara. But, we're confident in our pitching staff. We can put up 2 or 3 runs early in the ball game like that, sure enough, we'll come out victorious.
Okay, man, thank you. Congratulations. We'll see you Friday afternoon. Now questions for Coach Johnson. Jerry, we'll start with you.
Coach, I'm sorry. I'm Jerry Fall with UCSB Radio and the Santa Barbara News Press. Forgot that earlier. Pitching and defense wins games. You guys are pitching exceptionally well this postseason, particularly in this World Series. And defensively tonight, you were absolutely outstanding. Can you talk about your infield defense, especially up the middle, and how well those two guys played?
Yeah, we were probably about 35 games into the season, maybe 30, and we made a decision to settle on Lewis Boyd had to play shortstop every day, and Cody Raymer had to play second base. The amount of good pitchers in the Pac-12 is, it seems like everybody's running out of good guy. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, everybody has a good closer, and it actually prepares you for the environment that you get here. But the pitching and defense thing, you just have to take care of the ball. I mean, it's talked about over and over and over again. Everybody likes offense. Everybody likes scoring runs. But the reality is the guys that are on the mound are on the biggest scholarships, and they're paid to get guys out. And you got to have it. And the defense part of it plays a big role in how well you actually pitch. And so Lewis and Cody are as good as anybody in college baseball right now as far as making the routine play, turning the double play, and have just really solidified the whole deal for us.
Okay, right here.
Yeah, Michael Lev with the Arizona Daily Star. Jay, what does it say about the character of your team that you've now been able to win 4 consecutive elimination games?
I think it's awesome. I think it shows toughness. To me, our character's been on display, like I said, from the first pitch of the season. There isn't a challenge that this team has not met. And the byproduct of that toughness is, they can totally, as crazy as it sounds, ignore the noise, push away the circumstance, and focus on the play. And we have good players, don't get me wrong. We have 6 guys that were drafted. But our team has an elite mindset. And I'm very proud of them for that, because that doesn't happen overnight. It's taken some work, and they've done a great job at staying in the moment and playing it one pitch at a time.
Okay, another one, Michael.
What was the basis of your decision to start Ryan Hogg today, and what was your level of confidence in him, given that he really hadn't played very much since over a month because of injuries and other reasons?
Kelly's batting average against left-handed pitchers, I believe, is 143. Does that sound right? Watching him on film, he carved through a good Washington team and Xavier in the regional. We saw it. I just didn't like the feel of it. Ryan is an elite defensive catcher, just like Cesar. We're fortunate having both of those guys. And I thought he's looked good in training. What gets lost to people that don't show up at practice every day, we're trying to develop guys. And, development happens at different times. He's been beat up. He's been hurt. He's gotten healthy. And he's a good athlete and has a live body. And he's 100% ready to go now. And so I just like the matchup a little bit better.
Okay, Jerry.
Coach, were there some nervous moments in that dugout when Austin came up? This is big time college baseball at its highest level, and was it almost apropos to have him come up and let's see who wins this one?
Well, that was part of the reason I made the pitching change, even with a 1-0 count. The hitter before was I knew who was sitting there. I knew how many runs we were ahead by. And I know what I saw over the last 5 games, or the 5 games leading up to this, as far as Austin Bush. It's tough to get elite power hitters in college baseball, and there's nobody as scary as that guy. And he's going to be a great player next year at Santa Barbara, and he's going to be a great pro.
Okay, Pat.
Jay, we've had a couple of coaches come in here the last couple of nights and talk about how a 3-0 deficit is almost insurmountable, or seems like it's a bigger lead in this ballpark because of the way it plays. Now, from what you're just saying, it probably wasn't that comfortable to you, but as runs are at such a premium here. Does it seem like that 3-0 or even 2-0 is a bigger lead than just a number indicates?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Again, we try to really stay in the moment, take the scoreboard, turn the scoreboard off, play the pitch. With that being said, I think there's something that's lost here in just talking about the ballpark. Is you're talking about the 8 teams in the country that are playing the best, and the only way you're here is if you're really pitching. And the pitching in this tournament is at an elite level right now. I don't know where they're at on draft lists or anything like that, but I got several guys that can really get people out. Oklahoma State does, Santa Barbara does, TCU does, Coastal Carolina does, Texas Tech, Florida. Didn't they have like 12 guys drafted, 8 in the top 100 or something like that, most of them pitchers. It's just, you throw this elite pitching into this ballpark, it's going to be 3-2, 3-0, 2-1, 1-0. So I guess it's really not all that surprising.
Okay, well, any more questions for Jay? Thank you. Friday afternoon.
Friday.